Have you ever stopped to think about the tech that makes our modern lives, well, possible? That simple tap of a card or a quick scan of a passport. Today, we're going to unpack the invisible technology that powers billions, yeah, billions of these transactions every single day. Let's get into it. You know that moment, right? You tap your card or your phone, and boom, it just works. It feels like a little bit of magic. But what is actually going on inside that tiny little golden square in your card? Well, spoiler alert, it's not magic. It's an incredibly sophisticated piece of engineering. Hiding in plain sight, inside every one of these cards is a tiny, powerful computer. Basically, a fortress designed from the ground up to protect your most sensitive information. All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about that everyday magic. Then, we'll meet the company that's the unsung hero behind it all. After that, we're going to tear down that fortress on a chip, look at the insane scale of its use, and finally, we'll understand why this tech is the bedrock of our digital trust. Okay, so let's start in a world we all live in, a world of just seamless interactions. You know, from grabbing a coffee to crossing an international border, everything just flows. But here's the thing. This amazing convenience, it doesn't just happen by accident. It's all built on this massive, hidden infrastructure of security. Every single tap, every scan, relies on technology that's deeply complex, but is designed to be completely invisible to us. So who's the one building this invisible foundation? Well, while you might not know their name, one of the key architects is a company called NXP Semiconductors. Think of them as the quiet giant in the world of secure payments and IDs. And these guys are not new to the game, not at all. Their roots go way back to the 90s as part of Philips, where they were already pioneering smart card tech. Then, in 2002, they co-invented NFC, the standard that makes all tap-to-pay possible. They spun off as their own company, NXP, in 2006, and by 2010, they were on the NASDAQ, really scaling up the tech we all depend on today. So just to be super clear, NXP doesn't actually make the plastic credit card you carry. They're a B2B, a business-to-business company. That means they create the most critical parts, the secure silicon chip, the brain, and its operating system. They sell those to the companies that assemble the final cards for banks and governments. And they are a huge deal in this space. I mean, NXP themselves call it they're a market leader for these specific security chips. That means they are the go-to provider for the tech that secures our most critical, most trusted credentials. Okay, now for the really cool part. How on earth do they pack so much security into something so tiny? Let's deconstruct this tech. And yeah, the best way to think about it really is like a digital fortress built on a tiny speck of silicon. Or you know what? An even better analogy might be a security sandwich. It's made of 3 totally distinct layers, and each one builds on the security of the one right below it. Let's peel them back. So layer 1 is the hardware itself. We'll call that the vault. Layer 2 is the secure operating system. That's the guard. And the top layer, layer 3, is the specific apps running on it which act as the keys that unlock what the card can do. Let's start at the bottom with the hardware. NXP's Smart MX chips are the physical vault. They have some incredible security features baked right in. For instance, something called a physical unclonable function, or PUF, acts like a unique, unchangeable fingerprint for that specific chip. It's what makes it practically impossible to clone your card. Then there's a vertical firewall, which keeps different apps, say your payment info and your ID, totally walled off from each other. And this hardware is certified to EAL 6+, which is one of the highest security ratings a commercial product can even get. Now, sitting on top of that rock-solid hardware is our next layer, a hyper-secure operating system called JCOP. This is our vigilant guard. It's built on trusted global standards, and its whole job is to act as the gatekeeper, controlling every single thing that happens on that chip. And finally, we get to the top layer, the applications, or the keys. These are tiny secure programs called applets that run on that JCOP operating system. One applet might turn the chip into a payment card that works with Visa or MasterCard. Another could turn it into a national ID card or an e-passport, capable of securely storing your biometric data right there on the card itself. So you've got this incredibly secure 3-layered fortress. That's great, but how widespread is it really? Well, the scale is honestly a little hard to wrap your head around. Let's just start with the operating system RGuard. According to NXP, there are already more than 1 billion devices out there in the world running on JCOP. I mean, just think about that. That's an absolutely enormous footprint of trust. And if we look at the hardware, the vault, the numbers are even crazier. NXP says they've shipped, and this is a direct quote, many billion of their SmartMX chips to over 120 countries for everything from bank cards to national IDs. Billions with a B. It's just staggering. So that begs the question, right? Why NXP? Why have the world's most security-obsessed organizations, we're talking global banks, entire governments, put their faith in this specific technology? The answer isn't about flashy marketing. It's about one thing: assurance. You can really break their value down into 4 key things. First, it's that verifiable, high-assurance security. All those certifications prove it's tough. Second, it's the ability to run multiple apps, ID, payment, transit pass, all securely on one single chip. Third, they give manufacturers pre-certified solutions, which just helps get secure products out the door faster. And finally, they support these things for a long time, so a passport issued today can be securely updated for over a decade. So when you put all of that together, you really start to see the bigger picture here. This isn't just about a tiny chip in your credit card. This is about the very foundation of trust that our entire modern digital economy is built on. I mean, the whole digital ecosystem runs on this stuff. Banks need it for their payment cards. Governments rely on it for passports and IDs. The card manufacturers themselves use it to build the products. And yeah, even the smartphone in your pocket is using this kind of tech for mobile wallets. So if there's one thing to take away, it's this. Every single time you tap to pay, use a digital ID, or scan your passport, you're interacting with this invisible foundation of trust. And it's companies like NXP that are quietly in the background, engineering that trust, one secure little chip at a time. Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on. We've seen how this tech secured the first wave of our digital lives, but as our physical and digital worlds continue to merge and become almost indistinguishable, what will that next generation of trust be built on? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.